Boop. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, July the 19th, 2021. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 61, 2 Samuel 7, 18 through 29, Hebrews 13, 17 through 25, Psalm 100, and then Jeremiah 51 through 7. And then you could have also read Hebrews with that too. But I'm going to look at Hebrews today and ask the question, who are the leaders? Because this text starts off, obey your leaders and submit to them. So what's that all about? Well, Hebrew tells us to obey our leaders, but who are the leaders? It's a question that John Wesley takes on in his sermon 97 on obedience to pastors. So, as you might guess, because this is the verse for that sermon, as you might expect from the title of that sermon, John Wesley's answer is pastors, or more generally, those entrusted with the work of leading and discipling the church and its members. And so, depending on your context, some traditions that might be people we would call priests, some traditions call it elders, some just call it preachers, but, really it's the people who have been entrusted with this leadership of the church. And that can take various forms, different kinds of, intentionality, I guess. In my tradition, United Methodist tradition, we go through this process of ordination that's pretty involved and requires a lot of commitments on ourselves, both for elders and for deacons in the tradition. And if your tradition uses those terms differently, that's fine. That happens. So that's the answer. It's the people he's talking about, not like, not so much, like the people that run the government and things like that. That's a different issue. That's a different conversation. And there are texts that deal with that. But this is specifically the people who are tasked and given the responsibility for leading the church, for shepherding the people. And it's for good reason that Hebrews and Wesley is telling us that this is a thing that we should do, as hard as it might be for some of us to swallow. But it's not just calling for this kind of unquestioning dedication, unquestioning obeisance, and kind of self-deprecating, kind of like grovel at the feet of the leader. That's not what it's talking about. It's not just throw away your common sense and things like that. It has more to do, I think, with respecting the position that people in leadership have been put in, that a pastor has been put in. Because we are people who will one day give account for how we cared for the church and its people, for how we shepherded the flock. And in fact, Paul's very next words in this are pray for us, right? So the text says, obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls and will give an account. One day, basically, the real shepherd of the flock, the good, great shepherd, is going to show up and want to know what we've done with his flock. So, pray for us as we do the work that the good, great, and great shepherd would have done to care for his flock. By the way, if you are a believer, remember that as a believer, you actually have a flock that you'll give an account for as well. It's not maybe as formal as it is for someone like me who's, an ordained elder. But you still have a flock of people that are part of your life, that as a believer, somebody who proclaims Christ, you have a responsibility to care for that flock, the people around you as well. So, I'll pray for you. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you later. Boop.